Ever thought that a Canadian passport could hit a roadblock in some places? Yes, even with their friendly reputation, there are a few spots around the globe where Canadians might not feel particularly welcome. This video's got all the info you need. Stick around to learn about the top 10 countries most restrictive to Canadians travelers. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you're always up to date with our latest videos. Number 10. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia follows conservative Islamic laws that strongly shape the way of life, making travel here a bit challenging if you aren't familiar with these customs. For example, the dress code is strict. Women need to wear an abaya and sometimes cover their hair when in public. And there's no room for public displays of affection. What might be acceptable in Canada could be considered offensive or even illegal. The penalties for breaking these rules can be harsh. Alcohol, completely banned. And being caught with it can lead to severe punishment. Social interactions between unmarried men and women are also tightly controlled. Canada and Saudi Arabia haven't had the best relationship, especially after the diplomatic clash in 2018, when Canada criticized Saudi Arabia's human rights record. Since then, the view of Canadian visitors hasn't exactly been warm, which could affect your experience while traveling there. Yet, despite all these challenges, Saudi Arabia has its draws. From stunning Islamic architecture to significant historic sites like Mecca and Medina, there's a lot of beauty here. The country's Vision 2030 program is working hard to boost tourism, aiming to diversify the economy and attract visitors from around the globe. And while the public persona of the country is very conservative, many Canadians who have visited talk about the genuine hospitality and warmth of Saudi people in private settings. Just be sure to do your homework, understand the culture, laws, and customs deeply to make the most out of a journey to this deeply rooted and fascinating land. Number 9. Iran. Iran is a country rich in history, culture, and hospitality, with its origins dating back to the powerful Persian Empire. From ancient archaeological sites to warm-hearted people, Iran holds treasures for travelers looking for an immersive experience. But modern Iran has faced decades of tension with Western nations, particularly after the 1979 Islamic Revolution and the U.S. Embassy hostage crisis. These geopolitical rifts have affected how Western travelers, including Canadians, are perceived. The legal and social landscape in Iran is complex and demands respect for local traditions. Women, for example, are required to wear headscarves and dress modestly in public. There are also limitations on how people of the opposite gender who are not married can interact in public, and Canadians need to be very aware of these social norms to avoid misunderstandings. Criticism of the government, especially on social media, can lead to serious consequences, so staying neutral and informed about current issues is a must. Despite the hurdles, Iran can be a deeply enriching destination, offering a window into a world where ancient history meets modern geopolitics. You'll find vibrant bazaars, breathtaking art, and a hospitality that leaves a lasting impression. If you're well prepared and respectful of local customs, your trip to Iran might just be one of the most memorable and eye-opening experiences you'll ever have. Number 8. Egypt. Egypt, with its pyramids, pharaohs, and ancient ruins, is a dream destination for history buffs. However, the political situation can be volatile, sometimes making travel there a bit unpredictable. You may encounter sudden unrest, protests, or heightened security measures, especially in tourist areas. This means that you need to stay informed and plan your journey with caution. Be careful with photography. Certain sites, like military bases, bridges, or railways, are strictly off-limits, and violating these rules could land you in trouble. Also, voicing any public criticism of the government or political climate is a big no-no and could lead to legal issues. Scams targeting foreigners, as well as strict laws regarding visas and interactions with local law enforcement, add to the challenges of visiting this iconic country. Despite these hurdles, a well-prepared traveler can experience Egypt's fascinating culture, from exploring the magnificent pyramids of Giza to haggling in Cairo's vibrant markets. With some extra caution and planning, you'll find that your visit to this land of history is nothing short of extraordinary, offering insights and experiences you won't find anywhere else. Number 7. India. India is like an endless kaleidoscope of cultures, languages, and traditions. Its sprawling landscapes and bustling cities make it an exhilarating destination for any traveler. From vibrant festivals to diverse cuisine, India offers deep cultural immersion. However, for Canadians, there are a few hurdles to be aware of, starting with the political climate and specific regional challenges. Certain areas in India, like Jammu and Kashmir, have political tensions that can quickly escalate. Due to the region's sensitivity and disputes, Western visitors are are often viewed with suspicion, making it essential to avoid areas experiencing unrest. There are also some border regions with stringent security where access is limited. As a visitor, keeping a close watch on local news and government advisories is crucial to avoid trouble spots. And then there's the visa situation. Canadians must ensure they have the right type of visa and strictly stick to its terms. Overstaying can lead to serious consequences like fines, legal complications, or even deportation. Another thing to note is behavior and public decorum. Public displays of affection might be normal in Canada, but in many parts of India, they can be frowned upon or considered offensive. Dress codes are also important, particularly in religious sites where modesty is key. Despite these challenges, India is a deeply rewarding place for those who respect its customs. You'll find rich histories in its ancient temples, taste the diversity of its cuisines, and witness a nation that's both deeply rooted in tradition and racing into modernity. By understanding and respecting these nuances, your trip to India could become a life-changing experience. Number 6. Venezuela. Venezuela is a destination where political and economic instability have unfortunately created serious travel challenges. Once a thriving country, Venezuela's recent history has been marked by economic crises, political upheaval, and social unrest. For Canadians, these factors make it a complicated place to visit, not to mention the strained diplomatic relations between Canada and Venezuela. The economic crisis, fueled by mismanagement and a plunge in oil prices, has severely impacted daily life. Hyperinflation is rampant, which complicates daily transactions, and shortages of basic necessities like food, water, and medical supplies can make the stay challenging and even risky. With the ongoing financial turmoil, travelers may need to carry cash since accessing money and handling currency exchanges can be problematic. Venezuela's political scene is equally volatile, with a government that has clashed with many Western countries, including Canada, over human rights and democracy issues. Canadians traveling here must be aware of the current diplomatic tensions and follow strict travel advisories. Getting a visa can be a challenging process, and once in the country, navigating local security situations requires extreme caution. Planning is everything. Having local contacts, understanding the socio-political landscape, and staying informed about changes on the ground are essential steps. That said, if you're ready to navigate these complexities, Venezuela's stunning natural beauty and resilient culture offer a glimpse into a country that stands in stark contrast to its neighbors. For the adventurous traveler, it's an experience unlike any other, giving you a deeper look into a nation enduring both hardship and spirit. Number 5. Turkey. Turkey straddles both Europe and Asia, providing a mix of cultures, traditions, and breathtaking landscapes. You can explore ancient ruins one day and bustling markets the next, and the depth of history here is astounding. However, in recent years, Turkey's political and social climate has undergone considerable changes, affecting how Canadians may experience the country. Turkey has experienced significant political shifts, and with tighter control over media and public expression, the atmosphere can feel sensitive, especially around election times or political events. Free speech is far more restricted than in Canada, and travelers need to be cautious about what they say and post, as certain criticisms of the government can lead to legal trouble. Regional instability, particularly in areas close to Syria and Iraq, has led to heightened security measures and travel restrictions, so staying updated on travel advisories is a must. Navigating Turkey's legal system can be daunting for visitors. Defamation laws are strict, particularly when it comes to criticizing the government or its leaders, and this extends to social media posts and public comments. What might be considered casual speech in Canada could easily lead to fines, detention, or worse in Turkey. Travelers should stay cautious about border regions and always remain aware of local rules and regulations to avoid any potential pitfalls. Still, Turkey's allure is undeniable. Its mix of modern cities and ancient wonders, like the ruins of Ephesus or the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, create an experience that's both captivating and eye-opening. If you respect the customs, stay informed, and approach your journey with cultural sensitivity, Turkey can offer a rewarding adventure that melds the East and West like nowhere else. Number 4. Russia. Russia is a country of immense size and cultural richness, with a complex political landscape that can make traveling here both fascinating and challenging. For Canadians, the relationship between the two nations has its share of tensions, and navigating the country requires heightened awareness and caution. One of the most significant challenges in Russia is obtaining the correct visa. The process is detailed and meticulous, requiring careful adherence to documentation rules. Once you arrive, you have to register your presence with local authorities, particularly if you're staying for an extended period or traveling between cities. Failing to follow these steps could result in fines, detainment, or even deportation. It's vital to stay on top of local laws and avoid any legal missteps, especially since activities that are common in Canada, like participating in public protests, are not tolerated in Russia and could have serious consequences. Recent political incidents and allegations of espionage have further complicated the atmosphere for Canadian travelers. It's crucial to exercise caution in your communications, whether online or in person, and to stay mindful of the sensitive political climate. Respecting local customs and engaging with people in a culturally aware way will help you avoid misunderstandings and possible legal trouble. Despite these complexities, Russia remains a country filled with history, from the grand cities of Moscow and St. Petersburg to the vast Siberian landscapes. A visit here provides a deep dive into a nation that has played a pivotal role in world affairs and offers cultural experiences that range from visiting historic cathedrals to exploring its diverse natural beauty. If you're ready to respect the local laws and navigate the complex cultural and political context, Russia will reward you with unforgettable insights and experiences. Number 3. North Korea. North Korea stands as one of the world's most closed-off and mysterious countries. Visiting here is like stepping into a completely different world, and the strict regulations make it a challenging destination for any traveler, especially for Canadians. Every aspect of your trip is carefully controlled by the state, from the moment you arrive to the moment you leave. Traveling to North Korea is only possible through state-approved tour agencies. Forget about traveling solo. Independent travel simply isn't allowed. These tour operators set strict itineraries, and you'll be accompanied by government-appointed guides at all times. There's no spontaneous exploration. You'll follow the schedule precisely as planned, with every site and activity pre-approved by the state. Your guides ensure that you don't veer off the prescribed path or interact with locals without supervision, as North Korea tightly manages the flow of information to and from tourists. What might seem like normal behavior elsewhere can be considered highly offensive or even illegal in North Korea. Taking a photo of a statue from the wrong angle, making jokes about political figures, or discussing sensitive topics could all land you in serious trouble. Before you go, you'll receive a briefing on the do's and don'ts, and it's vital to follow these rules closely. Non-compliance can lead to severe consequences, from detention to being expelled from the country. Despite these tight controls, the experience of visiting North Korea can be unique. You'll witness a society steeped in political ideology, but with a heritage rooted in traditional Korean culture. Major attractions include the Mass Games, a grandiose display of gymnastics and art, and the massive monuments of Pyongyang that showcase the state's emphasis on strength and unity. It's not your typical tourist destination, but for those who are willing to adhere to the strict rules, it offers a rare peek into one of the world's most secretive nations. Number 2. Cuba. Cuba is an island known for its vibrant culture, historic architecture, and rich history, making it an intriguing place for travelers. However, Canadian visitors often face challenges due to the country's economic sanctions and restricted access to the internet, which significantly shape the travel experience. The ongoing economic embargoes mean that Cuba operates under tight resource restrictions, which impacts the availability of basic goods and services. There's also a dual currency system in place that can be confusing for visitors, and everyday items like toiletries or medicine might be hard to come by. Travelers need to prepare by bringing essentials from home and being flexible with what's available on the ground. The scarcity of goods and the limitations on certain amenities can require some adapting. One of the biggest challenges for Canadians traveling to Cuba is the limited internet access. While Wi-Fi is available in some public areas, you'll need to buy access cards, and even then, the connection is often unreliable and slow. So, staying in touch with family or handling any online tasks can be a bit tricky. It's best to plan to be offline for most of your trip and make sure you've taken care of any internet needs beforehand. Beyond this, it's important to understand the political climate. Public discussions, demonstrations, or comments critical of the Cuban government are not tolerated and can lead to legal issues. When visiting, it's essential to stay neutral, respectful, and mindful of local customs and laws to avoid misunderstandings. With all that in mind, Cuba remains a colorful and captivating place. Its lively music, dance traditions, and old-world charm offer experiences that you won't find anywhere else. Explore the classic streets of Havana, visit UNESCO World Heritage sites, and dive into a culture that's rich and distinct. With some preparation and an open mind, you can enjoy a deeply memorable adventure on this beautiful island. Number 1. China. China is a land of contrasts. Ancient wonders like the Great Wall and the Forbidden City sit alongside futuristic skylines in cities like Shanghai and Beijing. It's a country that offers a vast array of experiences for travelers, but there are significant political and legal challenges that Canadians should be aware of when planning a visit. Tensions between Canada and China have risen in recent years, particularly over trade issues and human rights concerns, which can create a cautious atmosphere for Canadian travelers. Political sensitivities can affect how you're perceived, so being aware of these issues is crucial for having a smooth and enjoyable trip. China also has strict regulations governing many aspects of daily life. The government closely monitors the internet, media, and public expression, which means that many Western websites and social media platforms are blocked or censored. If you're planning to access the internet while in China, consider setting up a VPN before arriving. But keep in mind that even VPN use is not fully reliable or guaranteed. The country's laws regarding public behavior are different from what Canadians are used to. Activities like joining demonstrations or openly discussing political matters are prohibited and can lead to legal action, including detention or deportation. Then there's the matter of visas. China's visa process is detailed, requiring thorough documentation and adherence to conditions. Once in the country, you'll need to comply with all visa regulations, including registering with local authorities in some situations. Keeping all your documents in order is a must to avoid any issues with law enforcement. Despite these hurdles, China remains an extraordinary place to explore. The country's deep history, rich traditions, and rapid modernization make it a destination that's both intriguing and culturally diverse. Whether you're marveling at the terracotta warriors, wandering through Beijing's Forbidden City, or exploring the natural beauty of the Guilin Mountains, China has the ability to both surprise and captivate. With proper planning, respect for local customs, and an understanding of the regulations, Canadians can find their way through this vast and dynamic country, coming away with unforgettable experiences. Have you been to any of these countries, or are you planning to go? Let us know in the comments. Your insights could be invaluable to someone else planning their journey. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more travel content like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.